We represent Barnegat with a program known as Keys, unlocking their past, discovering our future.
The aim of this project is to offer the students an opportunity of community outreach that will connect lessons learned in American history to the faces we see today.
The last great global conflict, occurring over 70 years ago, was one of the most extensive and treacherous wars in history.
The Second World War encompassed nearly 30 countries and caused more than 50 million deaths.
This war that would endure for 6 years would not end until 1945.
The following men were alive during this time and experienced these hardships.
Here are their stories. Dominic Preziotti never fought in World War II, but he remembers the burning patriotism he felt for his country after Pearl Harbor was attacked.
He says that the only thing that stopped him from fighting was the end of the war in 1945.
I was 14 when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. I was at a movie with my cousin who was the same age, and we went to the movie with his mom, and in the middle of the movie it stopped and they made the announcement that we had been attacked. We were at war. We left the movie house and we were sorry to hear that, but at the same time we were elated because now we were going to get an opportunity as 14-year-olds to mature and then go to war and get back at the Japanese. So that was a general feeling. That's one thing I don't remember what I was watching. It was just another movie. Once we heard that, everything just was obliterated. We went to the movies quite often, Saturdays, Sundays, and that was our entertainment. We didn't have TV, we didn't have any other entertainment. But it was just a regular movie that we saw, which I can't remember.
Just 2 weeks out of high school, war veteran Hal Roth was drafted at the age of 18.
Although he didn't know much about World War II then, he quickly took up aviation and trained as a pilot.
Roth retired with a total of 24 combat missions and 3 bombing runs.
We got a new airplane, right, a B-24. And we didn't get that until we were finished our training. Right? We got in this new B-24 and we went up and we landed in Bangor, Maine, and we stayed there for a couple of weeks and everything. And then we went up to Goose Bay, Labrador, and we were on our way over to England with the new plane, right? And we're there about 2 weeks up in Goose Bay, and we're about to take off, and we get all ready, and it's all ice and snow. If you're ever in Goose Bay, Labrador in the winter, we were there in January, and you had a place where you had, if you went to eat, you had to go in this hole in the snow, and that was the mess hall. And it was a big building, great big building, but the snow was covering it. It had that much snow, and it had these dogs outside from Alaskan dogs. They're beautiful, blue eyes. So anyway, we flew up to Goose Bay, Labrador, and we were there for about a week, and then we were going to fly to England. That was at the beginning of taking and we got in the plane, the 9 of us, and the pilot and the co-pilot were all set, and we revved up the airplane, and we got it up to speed, and we went down the runway, and we got off the ground, and we were maybe 25 to 50 feet in the air, and we hit a landing light with the under wheels and everything. So fast thinking, not knowing whether we were going to have a problem when we landed in England, the pilot and my engineer decided to go down instead of up. So we crash landed. We crash landed before we ever got overseas. And the runway was all ice and snow. And we slid along the runway, picked up all the ice and the snow, came in, and we couldn't get out the front then. So all the crew had dropped out the back, and they were running the other way, going down the runway. And we got out, we went to the back, and we got out, and we got away from that airplane pretty quick. We thought it was going to blow, And that was a story that I missed. We were in an airplane crash, too, You go through a lot of these things, and you don't even think of them later.
War veteran Hal Roth experienced unbelievable events during World War II.
This is his account of the time he was hit by shrapnel.
I've been hit. Okay. There was a thud. Our ship was hit with flak, and as a number of pieces flew through the plane, I felt a sting on my right leg around the shin bone. When I looked down, there was a tear in my flight suit pant leg, but I didn't see any blood. Rolling up my pant leg, I could see a huge black and blue welt where I had felt the sting. What happened was that a piece of steel from the flak penetrated the skin of our plane. It came through a wooden board, then through a piece of canvas, and finally went through my flying pantsuit leg. Luckily for me, by that time it was spent and slowed down enough just to give me a black and blue mark and something to think about. If it hadn't hit all those barriers first, it would have taken part of my leg with it. As it was, I found the piece of flak in my pant leg and had kept it for years as a souvenir. But as we moved a few times, I lost it. No one else on our crew was hit. We were very, very lucky that way. However, they did have some close ones. However, either Woody or Stokes, one of them, had a piece go through their helmet. Almost went around the helmet, if you can believe. It was interesting to me that the piece of flak, the metal that hit me, was not quite as big as the first joint of my thumb. However, when it went through the skin of the ship, it made a hole that measured between 6 and 9 inches in diameter. Evidently, the skin of the ship stretched as the flak hit it, then broke open, allowing the piece to go through. I'll never forget our 7th mission over Magdeburg.
During the 1940s, America attempted to remain neutral until they were attacked at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii and decided to join the fight.
World War II was a time of social and economic struggling for the soldiers fighting battles overseas and the families who remained behind to fend for themselves.
Despite this period of difficult times, the country gained a new sense of patriotism and found a pride in being American.
The Barnegat High School program, known as Keys, aims to offer the students an opportunity to connect lessons learned in American history to the faces we see today.
Thank you for listening.